Welcome back, everybody. Today we have friend of the pod, Dan Head, back on the show. Dan, what's up?
Hey, how's it going? Glad to be back.
Yeah, happy to have you back. This is great. We were talking towards the end of Q4, and we decided to book this. It's January 9th today, where we're going to have a conversation about Q4 of 2025, what worked, what didn't, and what we're expecting going into 2026. I think that would make a great. I'm really interested to hear what you have to say, and I've got a lot of thoughts too. But before we get into that, give everyone a quick background on who you are in case this is their first episode hearing you.
Sure. I've been working with Amazon sellers since 2004. I guess that kind of makes me a dinosaur in this game. Um, I love e-commerce. My father has a great background, extensive background, 50 years of retail, Kmart, Target, Sport Mart, and even Amazon itself back in 2003 to 2007. So we have some really interesting conversations when we get together. That whole old school retail brain against new school e-commerce. It's quite interesting when we have conversations.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, I think one thing that I've realized is there's always going to be changing tactics, but the principles are going to always stay the same. Like in Q4, you need to have product that people want to buy in the places that they want to buy it from, and a price point that they're excited about. And that's how you have a killer Q4. That's the principles. But I think the tactics, the strategies, those are always changing. And I would love to hear kind of your high level overview of what you saw in Q4 2025 and what kind of interesting things you came across.
Oh, it was a very interesting year to say the least. As far as changes are going, I've seen more changes in that year than I think I've seen in several years combined. I mean, we're seeing AI take off now, which is very, very interesting. Some brands did pretty well and some brands didn't do as well. And I think a lot of that is because of the way shopping behavior is actually changing with AI. Those early at the big event, they were talking how they were expecting like Rufus to take like 20% of all searches by, I think it was 2 years, I think they said. I think that scale is being we're aggressively going towards that now. I've seen, a big impact on it and what it's doing on Amazon already. I think they were saying the earlier projections were like 2% in the beginning, but now I think it's closer to 10. I mean, it's really kind of changing this game. People are looking for easy decisions. And when you have so many products out there, you get so much window shopping fatigue, you could say. That this makes it easier for the shopper. And what do Americans love more than convenience? So I think we're seeing a lot of changes there and a lot quicker than any of us were expecting them to actually happen. So it is an interesting dynamic that we're living in now. The SEO days of keyword stuffing and all that are all, now it's about tying features and benefits to keywords. And we've seen a dramatic shift in optimization this past year. So it's very interesting.
It's
Some of my brands had killer Christmases and some of them were a little more flat, but we did make a little more profit on the companies that were a little more flat.
mhm.
Some of those companies were, designing to really kind of to lay into the profit in the past year, and we were able to achieve those goals. So that was nice. It is definitely an interesting time, and I think it's going to be more and more challenging for sellers as we move forward. There's this information overload that we're receiving. Like I can't even begin to tackle my email box in the morning. It's like I start flagging these emails. It's like, oh geez, there's like 5 of these and they're 10 pages long and I got to learn all this. I got to learn it all. It's like, how do you learn all this stuff at once? And then where do you shift your focus and your bandwidth to? So, that's going to be a big problem for sellers too. I mean, anybody that's committed to learning as much as myself and as much as I know about you, Sean, I mean, you're an avid learner. You ask a lot of questions, and they're always good ones.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you saw big results from Rufus. I'm really curious to learn more about that. Um, I have 3 things that I saw that were big in Q4 for us that are outside of Rufus.
Mhm.
One was Amazon Marketing Cloud. I was blown away at the results from Amazon Marketing Cloud centric campaigns that we think were fairly incremental. Second was deals, because this was the first year you could run a 14-day deal in
Yep.
Q4, a 14-day deal in December. That was
Yes.
transformational. We had a like we had accounts with multiple bestseller badges at the same time. Like it was really, really big for a lot of companies. And then the final one is like implementing what we call spillover commerce, where the companies that we worked with that installed a profitable Shopify channel on top of an Amazon business in 2025 really, really reaped the rewards in Q4. So those were the 3 things that we saw. The one you're talking about with Rufus, I really want to dive into because I think there's a lot of interesting stuff there. But is there anything else that you saw aside from those, or
Yes.
aside from Rufus? Yeah.
Probably bigger than even Rufus was the image app that we created. That thing is changing our lives.
What's that?
So, my son and my wife, built a image app, kind of like what everyone else is doing. It's built off the back of Nano Banana too, and you got Gemini in there and, a few others. So they created an app, and essentially, you put your product photo in there, and that product photo will stay exactly as that product. Every time we make an image, it will not manipulate it. It will not make it bigger. It will not make it shorter. It will not change any of the writing on the bottles. It like actually locks it in. And then we have where we can inject a Word document, and what we'll include in there is the brand DNA. So
Mm.
give it the fonts, the tone, all the writing styles, and everything will be in that DNA. So now you have this and you have that, and then we'll put in the logo too, but we don't always use it, but we'll put that in there. And then, we'll go back to chat and we'll write out, a graphic brief for the product so that we're looking at customer review insights and the things that, like all the competitors are not doing well and what we can do well. And then, write that brief up and then boom, bring it to the image app. And about an hour later, you have about a dozen or so images that are amazing. The people have gotten a lot better. It's not like it was before where you can get 3 hands or people with 6 fingers, but people are still a little weird, so we're tending to lean a little more towards, like, the flat overlay kinda styles, but, it's definitely been a game changer for us because my last 3 product launches all got #1 new arrival badges on Amazon. That's 3, and I've launched a lot of products, and getting that badge is pretty difficult normally, but to have 3 in a row, that was big run of success. Now we can create enough content that we're finally able to like narrow down. So like, for instance, like beef tallow. So you have a lot of different people that are going to buy beef tallow. People buy beef tallow a lot are the hunters. They want to have tallow for the meat when they cook the meat. So we'll have graphics and videos designed for hunters. Okay. Now you have the candle makers with beef tallow. And so when we're going after those keywords, we're creating high res beef tallow images that really reflect to the people that are buying candles and making candles out of them. Now we have another one for skincare. So now we're kind of dialing down to what that customer's actually looking for behind that keyword. You and I know that's the name of the game when it comes to conversion.
Yeah.
The more narrow you are to what that person's looking for, the higher you're going to convert.
Wow. Okay. You're basically you're changing listings based on either what is in season or what keywords you're specifically trying to target. That's
Right.
really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think every store really should have at least 12 designs saved. I mean, you should have
Mm.
one for every month. I mean, if you don't do one for every month, do one for every big holiday that means anything to you. But
Yeah.
now that we can create content like this, this is changing the game a lot. I mean, I don't know about you, but I have a guy who writes the brief. I got 2 graphic designers on my payroll, and
Mm,
we just cannot create enough content quick enough to have split testing or narrow down on keywords and things like that, and that is all changing right now. So that probably the biggest thing that I've seen make a big impact this year is being able to really get that much better at creating content. And then trying to be bold. That's the other thing. You know, all 3 of those launches, they were bold. Code Red is an aromatherapy pen, and everybody else is like pastel colors, and we're biotechy, cyberpunky. And that's just who we are. You know,
mm,
we kind of designed this brand for millennials, and it's kind of interesting because I'm 45 and I barely understand my children. Um, but,
yeah.
yeah, you know, the boldness, the neon, the bright, the just being different, you know, really worked there. And, you know, and the other products that we did really well with, you wouldn't expect, you know, a $600 instant hot, cold drink machine that sits next to your fridge. And, you know, we launched it and got it profitable within a month. $600 freaking product. So that's graphics. That's graphics. Now, don't get me wrong. It is an amazing product itself. I
Mhm.
mean, like I can literally do a boiling pot of water and then get 32 ounces of 35-degree water. It'll literally go back and forth. So it's good like that. But to launch something like that and penetrate the market and be profitable that quickly, that was, you know, we really nailed it on the graphics and, you know, the features of that product.
And anyone who's been doing this for a while knows how hard that is to do in Q4. You can't control somebody's launch, but a lot of the time there's an optimal and a suboptimal time to launch, and launching in
Q4 is not
Q4, not yeah, you probably wanna
yeah,
launch if you're really looking to go big, like September, maybe even
yeah,
August, so that you can kind of be built up for that time frame.
right. Well, even with
Yeah, that's
something long standard, you really would be ideally being due Q2 to have enough time to build all that velocity for Q4.
yeah, okay. Can you talk to me a little bit about your Rufus strategy and what you did to kind of optimize for that?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, well, the first one we did was we started looking at our own listings
Mhm.
and, you know, going through all those questions that are asked. And then, well, the product description doesn't state. Well, that's what we need to fix. So what we did was we went and got all those questions that were being asked about our products, and we imported them into a spreadsheet. And then we went down and figured all the suboptimal answers that we did not like in there.
Wait, where are
And
you getting the questions?
from the actual, I'm talking about Rufus on the product detail page, not Rufus on the homepage. They're kind of two different things almost.
Okay, so on your product detail
Yeah.
page, there are
Yes.
questions that Rufus kind of is like you can
Yeah. Well,
prompt and
that's
answer.
where they'll recommend one of your competitors when it doesn't know. Like when you
Mm,
see that, well, the product description doesn't state. Well,
mhm,
the thing about it is you don't have to have it in just a product description. I found a lot of fields that really work very well, like safety warning is
mm,
incredible, or anything with supplements or t-shirts, anything in there. So what you do is you get all these questions that you haven't answered and run them through chat and say, hey, I need to answer all these questions without asking them. Here's the fields that I have available. I could add a paragraph to the description, or I could do the safety warning, or, you know, do another field, because all these other fields, most of these other fields will relate to Rufus. Rufus can see most of it.
mm,
I forgot which ones they can't. There's a couple they can't, but so, you know, we just developed this system where we would, you know, answer all that. And the first thing was go update the listing, product description, safety warning, special features, things like that. We changed all of those to
mm,
short sentences where you tie a keyword to a feature and a benefit. That will help you on the outside of Rufus. And then you're also answering that question. So now if they're looking at your listing, they're not recommending a competitor. And that's what, you know, you don't want to happen. And then
mm.
you need to start doing research on the Amazon.com page. And that's like, hey, who's the number one seller of beef tallow? Why? Or
Mhm.
name me a great organic beef tallow. So you need to, worry about that too. So, and the way of
Mm,
getting those dealt with is just by having the proper answers in the listing, really. And then,
interesting.
review credibility goes a long way with it. So,
Yeah, because that's one thing that I kind of noticed. Um, because I was taking a look at some of the more established products that we work with, and a lot of them, even if they weren't totally optimized for Rufus, were still getting recommended because they have such great review credibility.
mhm.
You know, review quantity often seems to have a positive impact too. And so
Yes, it
really
does.
it's just like, yeah, if somebody is really optimizing for conversational searches, then they're really set up in a way that they can thrive on Rufus. Yeah.
Yeah, that means you did a really good job in the beginning with listing out that all the details on that product. If you're getting recommended out the gate, even with the reviews, you did a good job. That was one thing that struck me a while back in like 2016 and 2017 is like started that was when I started my agency and I started getting new accounts. And then I'm like, these guys are not using subject matter. These guys are not filling out all the sidebars. These guys are not doing this and this and this. And that's when like something in my own focus kind of shifted. It's like, okay, if these guys are not doing it and I do it, that is a clear cut advantage. And then, we found out subject matter. I mean, I don't know if you have the same experience as I did. Once learned how to use that field was better than search terms. It was magic. It was just magic. I mean, everybody was putting in occasions and whatever it was, but no, put your keywords in there. It's 250
Mhm.
more keywords in there and they instantly rank, like literally within
Yeah.
15 minutes. It was, subject matter was great back in the day. I wish they wouldn't have got rid of it. Keep it a secret. Let the pros know about that thing.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like there's lots of stuff like that. Okay, so that I do want to maybe touch on a few other subjects. So, yeah, okay, so Rufus and conversational AI search was big for your clients in
But yeah,
Q4.
definitely.
Then the other one you were saying was being able to constantly update product photos and that kind of thing. Like leveraging AI to actually take advantage of that kind of stuff is huge. That's
Yes.
really cool. I'm glad to hear that. What else? Was there anything else that really stood out to you?
Over the year, I mean,
No, Q4
everything get
specifically, but yeah.
everything kind of gets overshadowed by what AI is doing. It's like I can talk about whatever, but it's like everyone wants to hear about AI.
Yeah.
What else is working? I mean, good listings and good products still work.
Yeah.
That last launch we did was a no-name brand. That to me is almost like a unicorn these days. I mean, how often in these days can you launch an Amazon brand and go from 0 to profitability in 45 days? It's just, I mean, maybe if you do it right with TikTok and the right influencers and get somebody that goes viral, but I mean, those are like unicorns these days, but they still exist. So they do.
It still exists. It's just a lot harder to do than it used to be. And it
Yes.
also requires like your your price point will almost is almost like a crystal ball that will dictate if you are or are not going to be profitable in the first
Yes.
45 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have to launch a loss or break even price just to get into the market, you,
Right.
you know, and
Yeah.
your price point is, yeah,
Right. To
yeah,
your point, we were able to
yeah,
undercut them a little bit.
yeah,
But with the water machine, we're going after guys like Brito. It's like we're selling
yeah,
$100 more and I think it's a better machine personally. So we're not like I'm not selling something that isn't good. It's a great product. But to launch and see somebody as well established as a brand like that, and for us to come in and penetrate the market, you gotta nail it. Gotta nail it. Everything's gotta, like, just be perfect.
yeah. I want to jump over to my list for a second just to hear your thoughts on them. Um, I want to start with deals because this was the first Q4 you could run a 14-day deal. That was gigantic for a lot of the companies we work with. Did you see that? Was that Was that big for you guys? Did you kind of stay away from deals? What did you
We
see
didn't
that?
run as much deals as I would have liked. Some of the guys had some inventory issues. We did great during Black Friday, the Cyber Monday. So, I mean, we did do the PEDs and what they started, the 20th, I think it was.
Yeah, it started 20th and
Yeah. And so those did work great, but we didn't do like a lot of deals in December like we've done in previous years. But that was just the mentality and where these companies are at.
yeah,
So, I mean, I I personally love deals. PPC isn't enough on its own. There's a
no,
balance. You have PPC, you have the deals, and you got to find that balance. And everybody's like, "Oh, I need to make more money," and then you sell less units, and then, "Oh, I need to
yeah,
sell more units," and then you play that game. Um, yeah,
yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? Is like you can't control somebody's inventory position or, their promotional calendar. Like maybe they just didn't want to or didn't have the ability to run deals. Also, deals don't make sense for every company all the time. Like I'm
yeah.
not, yeah.
No,
So
I'm
it
interested to hear though about your deals because I do believe in deals. They do
mhm,
work, especially when you do them at the right times.
yeah. So I think that the companies that we work with that were really Q4 centric, because like we work with a couple of different supplement companies, had a just okay December,
Yeah, 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 that's
like,
what we saw. It was okay.
yeah, yeah, just okay. We're
That's
profit
normal.
maxing, we're
Yeah,
clearing
it's
out
pretty
old
normal for
stock.
supplements. January's
Yeah,
Christmas.
yeah, exactly. But for the companies that had true gifts, yeah, we ran deals the final 14 days before the shipping cutoff, and that was transformational.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
had
it's you have the right brand, and it's interesting, like, I have a couple of those brands, like, we were looking at Black Friday to Cyber Monday, and then you see December 19th or December 20th, and it's like
yeah,
we're running no deals, but it's 5 days before Christmas, and we do double the sales we'll do on Cyber Monday. I mean, it's ridiculous.
yeah. Often what we'll see is that Black Friday and Cyber Monday, one of those 2 days will be the biggest sales day of the year,
Yeah.
but then December, whatever the shipping cutoff date is, that will be like the
Yeah.
biggest profit day of the year
Right.
because not everyone's got a deal and not everyone's cranking ad spend the way they are
Yep.
for those days.
The smart sellers are not
So
doing deals. Don't do deals.
yeah,
Not then. No, those are late
PEDs.
Christmas
Yeah.
shoppers, and they should pay, and I used to be one of them for a long, long time, but last year I bought my first Christmas gift in February.
Wow. No, so
I saw
I
the
have to respectfully disagree with you there. Um,
Really?
running a deal running a deal on December 19th is an absolute game changer because you're basically enhancing your conversion rate on the day where the most shoppers are like, I just need something that's going to show up on time.
Yeah,
And so it's like, look, if you look at the search results, you have 10 seconds to buy this gift before you go into a party. You're like,
yep, and
I'm
then
just going
rush.
to choose which, like, that one's on sale. Perfect. Boom.
Yeah.
And like the conversion rates on some top products we were working on December 19th is just bananas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I should try it. You're right, don't knock it until you try it. Fair enough.
Yeah. It, I love the idea of profit maxing, but if you have a product that can do well profit wise while running deals, like cut your ad budgets by half, run the deal and watch your organic sales skyrocket.
Well,
It's
I would
really,
say one thing, I would check your competition before you do the deal, because if, like,
yeah.
you're the only one, then why run the deal? If everyone's gonna come to you anyway and you're the only one who can get the product back there by Christmas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would make sense to watch those windows, but
Yeah.
yeah, hey,
No,
you're right.
definitely.
I've never tried it, so could be
I,
wrong.
I, I had a brand force me to do it 2 or 3 years ago, and I
Interesting.
was kicking and screaming the whole way because
So you have my mentality. You get where I'm coming
yeah,
from.
yeah, 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 exactly. I was like, this is a waste of money.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Reacts,
I'm like,
2x. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like,
Okay. I eat my
I
words.
sat down with the brand owner in January. I was like, you changed my mind. I'm sorry I fought you so hard on this. You were right.
And now you're
And
talking to me about deals and you're changing my mind right now.
yeah, yeah, that's the mentality I went through because yeah, it's just like the conversion rate enhancement was unbelievable. It was like
No.
if
All right.
all of your competitors weren't allowed to run a deal on Black Friday and you could. Yeah, that's what it felt like. Um, okay, you're a big AMC bull. I'm a big AMC bull.
Yeah.
What did you see coming out of AMC in Q4 2025? What worked really well for you?
Hey, there's a lot of great audiences that work really well. Lookalikes of subscribe and saves work incredibly well. Since we
Mhm.
started leveraging that, our subscribe and save rates have gone up significantly. Um,
Nice.
so, so when you can start manipulating that number, then you're really talking. I'm still trying to get to the bottom of that secret code to give you the answer of all answers to anybody who has SNS.
Mm.
Customer acquisition cost and the customer lifetime value per campaign so that we can get
Mm.
customer lifetime ROAS.
Yeah.
Supposedly, from everybody I heard, the data is there. Nobody seems to
Mhm.
know how to do it yet, but the data is there if you get the retail contribution, the $500 monthly add-on, and then you gotta get the $100 add-on as well. But the $500 one, I believe, has all the SNS data in it,
Mhm.
and so you gotta get the SNS data married to your campaign needs. And there's a way of doing it. I just haven't figured it out. I'm not a SQL programmer and I don't know that much about Java at all. So
Yeah.
you kind of need to know both to kind of get this done. So eventually, some point in this year, I'm going to put a team together to tackle this thing for me.
Yeah. That sounds worthwhile
Because
to say the
with
least.
supplements, I mean, that's like just taking the whole thing down. It's like, I don't care about CTR. I don't care about conversion rate. I care about customer lifetime ROAS. This is what's
Mm.
making me money. The only other metrics that matter after that is tacos. And so if you're funneling your money to where customer lifetime ROAS is, you don't have to sit there and try to figure out all this hardcore math when you're making a PPC decision. It's like, no, this
Mm.
campaign, I put $1 in, it gives me 100 back. Okay, let's give it a lot more money and a big budget, and then let's watch that customer lifetime ROAS. If it goes down too fast, then you back off a little bit. But those are like the metrics that will really kind of like cut through everything. Even I
Mhm.
mean, even a brand that has just purchasers. There is no SNS model. Wherever your lifetime ROAS is, it's still. I mean, it's not going to be as big as an SNS based model, but that's still
Yeah.
going to tell you where you should be putting your money. And it's like, it takes all the other decisions kind of like out of it. It's like, no, this is what I care about.
Yeah. I mean, that's ideal. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, AMC is exciting. I mean, I don't think anymore in demographics. I think more in audiences. Like, okay, this is in athletic shoes, likes to walk. Oh, he's probably got a dog.
yep. Yeah.
That's what some of these things have taught me, like in Quartile when they had I went to DC earlier this year and they put me up at Four Seasons, Quartile and Amazon, and they had this thing, actually I think I still got the paperwork here. And it was dog chew brand, a dog chew toy. And actually I don't have it here, but dog chew for in market was seventh in conversion. It was like, what?
Mm.
The actual product in the category, it was 7, and the number 1 converter was athletic shoes. It's like, so that thing has taught me a lot to think a lot about just the demographics are it's more about coffee lovers, health enthusiasts.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's extremely exciting to have this data. I mean, I finally feel like Amazon's finally giving us something worthwhile to chew on.
Yeah. Like something that we didn't finally look at and be like, "Great, thanks, Amazon." That's not
Yeah.
useful at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's very cool. I do wanna touch on my final point, the thing that I saw work really well. I don't know I don't know if you have much experience with this, but watching brands who have, like a Shopify store with Facebook ad spend going,
Uh-huh.
we basically we have a specific way that we implement this, and we call it spillover commerce. And we've seen that be quite effective for a lot of brands. And a lot of it is really just like maximizing offers and taking advantage of all the things that Amazon put out in 2025.
Mhm.
Do you work with any big brands that do spend a lot of money on Facebook?
I do, but I don't run that part of it. So I have never created a Facebook ad in my entire life.
Mm,
I have done some social media ads, but not much. But yes, all the big brands, yes, they do.
yeah.
Sure.
Well, basically all the things that we've been talking about today, I in in Q4 of 2025 feel like has really dovetailed well with a brand that's investing in growing their off Amazon presence,
Uh-huh.
because each one of the things we talked about all gets fed by that excess Facebook ad spend coming through.
Huh?
And if you're doing it right, I've actually been really thrilled to see how well AMC has performed with a brand that's got a lot of excess Facebook ad spend because it's
Yeah,
creating
that
that
is neat.
spillover impact.
That is neat. That's like the marketer's dream. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I've always wanted to have a brand like I can just go do print advertising and go put up a billboard like Bucky's and hey, make a U-turn, 1,000 miles back. Come on, buddy.
yeah, 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 yeah,
It's
exactly.
genius marketing, and I love it. I love it every time I see it. So it's like, oh, this guy really thought well, and wherever you see it. But to have the full playbook open, that would be fun, man. I would love
Yeah,
that. I would love to have a brand like that where they just said, do everything. But
yeah,
we do some Shopify stuff. We definitely
mhm,
work with Shopify sellers, but my main focus is Amazon, more or less.
yeah,
I see how they all tie together, but when you're trying to learn Amazon marketing, which is so intense, I mean, at least to me,
yeah.
it is. And
No,
then
agreed.
trying to learn social media,
Mhm.
advertising at the same time, it's like, for me, I rather find somebody really good at it and pay them a lot of money to deal with it and make it not my problem.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Because I see social media for what it is, like
Mhm.
I it's a distraction engine that's made to keep you glued in, and I don't have a lot of time to be distracted in life. So it
Couldn't
goes
agree more.
it goes against me. But I mean, I'm on Facebook like once or twice a month. I'll read it for like 30 minutes, but it's like I try to stay
Yeah.
away from it.
On the way to, like, finesse a marketplace transaction. You're like, "I'm trying to buy a couch, and I might as well check what my family's been up to while I'm on there."
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
And then it goes down a
yeah,
big rabbit hole. And then, oh, my best friend from high school. What's up with him?
yeah, yeah. That's a fair point. Well, look, Dan, I guess what are your closing thoughts? Closing thoughts going into 2026. What did you learn from Q4 2025? What are you excited about going into this year?
Well, I'm excited to start trying some of your deal strategies. They sound amazing. I'm definitely going to give it a whirl. I should have shot myself in the foot and said, I'm going to do that then. But when you make a point and when you know somebody and you respect them and you understand they know a lot, that's where you got to learn. You got to latch on to that. So thank you for that tidbit. Worry about Rufus. It is changing the way Amazon's searching it. Buying behavior is changing. And anytime buying behavior is changing, advertising is changing. If you're a seller, get one of these apps. There's a bunch of the apps that are similar to what we created out there that you can use to start creating hundreds of images on the fly. A lot of them won't pass. That's fine. Grab the ones that will, split test them, and if you have to, have your graphic designers redo them so they're professional and they don't look AI. If they're a winning image and you get a winning, yeah.
Well, look, I very much respect your opinion, and I'm definitely going to be overhauling a lot of the listings to really lean in to Rufus optimization. So, really appreciate you bringing that up because it's something that I absolutely will be looking into in the coming weeks. So, yeah, thanks so much, Dan.
Thank you.
So, like, you know, we're towards the end of the show. If people want to learn more about you, where can they find you on the internet?
Find me on LinkedIn, Daniel Ad, my AMZ Elite, is my agency. Yeah, I'm around.
Yeah. Um, well, yeah. Look, we'll link your LinkedIn in the show notes. We'll put your website in there too.
Okay.
Dan, thank you so much for being here. And to
Thank
everyone
you.
else, until next time.